Greetings, Groaners! Welcome to episode 173, in which we smash Valentine's Day and Chinese New Year together into one episode to formulate Valentinese or Valentines. I think I'll go with the first one, which will be in the episode title. What do we have for this special? Well, it's double trouble. For the facts, we got 4 for Valentine's Day and 4 for Chinese New Year from admin Nicole, which is brilliant. It'll be a fact for both at random points over the course of the episode. We have 2 reverse games and 2 normal games for you this week, which include admin Nicole's Anagram Anxiety. Admin Nicole also graces us with a special story for Valentine's Day, and I'm really looking forward to reading it. The audience groan has rolled in from a certain someone special from mythology, but more on that later. We also have some sections popping up at random. What are they? To tell you would ruin the surprise. There is lots to come, but I'm pleased to report that I feel much better, aside from a lingering cough, which makes me back ache. Anyway, that's a groan from an episode past. Let's focus on the now, with my groans. Valentine's Day commercialization. As the years have gone on, this special day seems less about love and loved ones spending time with each other. It's gotten to the point now where it's meaningless in some cases because greedy people have risen prices up for meals, etc. just because it is Valentine's Day. We aren't all rich. The pointless presents. I was in a shop the other day, and Lord, the bounty for tat gift givers for Valentine's Day sure as hell did not disappoint. Foam hearts in jars. A sand heart glass display. Foam roses. The list goes on. If you give your significant other something way under budget, such as a fake rose or love tokens, on this, which is supposed to be a special day, then you seriously need to debate why they are with you. People who are never happy with gifts. This is something I'll never understand. In some cases, a guy has gone all out and got his girlfriend a flash car. However, because it isn't in the colour that they like, the girlfriend kicks off. Begging your pardon, but you got gifted a car, which in some cases, some just get treated to a movie. Think on that if you're going to complain about getting a massive present, such as a car, or something similar like a holiday. Moaning about, it's not where I wanted to go, it's a surprise. Be happy. Goes to my Valentine's Day groans out the way, groaners. You can't really groan about Chinese New Year unless you hate noodles or something. The audience groan is coming later on though, groaners. With that being said, let's give it up for admin Nicole's first Valentinese fact double up. Brazil does not celebrate Valentine's Day on February the 14th, as it falls too close to the week-long carnival celebration. However, June 12th is Dia dos Namorados, that's Lover's Day, where couples exchange gifts, cards and candy. On this day, some single women perform rituals that is called simpatias to get in the good graces of St. Anthony, the patron saint of marriage, whose day is June the 13th. If you're getting married on June the 13th, congratulations and good luck to you. 2026 is the year of the fire horse. You'll notice that most of the facts around Chinese New Year for this episode are going around horses. The last fire horse year, 1966, coincided with events including the signing of the US Freedom of Information Act, considered a cornerstone of its democracy, the start of the Cultural Revolution, which fundamentally altered China, the first soft landing on the moon, paving the way for robotic and human exploration, and the introduction of the automated teller machine, which transformed the relationship between banks and their customers. What will a fire horse bring us for 2026? Because 1966 seemed like a banger. More facts from Ab and Nicole later in the episode. We play our first game now, which is Please Reverse the Music. I know I can't stop saying it that way. It just comes out my mouth that way. It's like I'm channeling some form of Rihanna there. Anyway, and no, Rihanna is not one of the tunes in this week's podcast. Now, I'm going to play you 3 pieces of music, but there's a catch. They are backwards. You must figure out these 3 love songs. Good luck to you, Groaners. Round number 1, Groaners. Here we go. Pause here, Groaners. Have a little think. What could that reverse tune be before we move on to round number 2? Pause here, Groaners. Think about what that classic love song could be, and then unpause as we move on to round number 3. Pause here, Groaners. Again, think about what that classic tune could be, and then unpause. Before we move on, Groaners, I must apologise for the start of the podcast there. I had severe leg lock in my leg there, so I was actually standing up and probably yelling into the microphone. My apologies. I can't fix that. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to yell at you, Groaners, but I kind of had to do that because I was far away from the microphone and didn't know if you could hear me or not. Well, the way things are going, it's going to be a successful podcast. Good luck to you for Please Reverse the Music. The answers will be given later on. But of course, Groaners, as you know, for obvious reasons, I cannot play them forwards. I don't fancy getting sued and also getting copyright struck. Now then, we move over to the probing question of the episode, which is of course, why oh why? As you're all aware, I was in the shops at Christmas time, and I believe I told you they had Easter stuff already out. What if I was to tell you that some shops who don't sell Easter eggs already at Christmas time had Valentine's Day stock out? I get it, you want to catch the consumer, but it was Christmas, and then more came out in January. Oversaturated shelves of various special day items way earlier than necessary. I just have to ask, why oh why? I step aside now to give Admin Nicole the floor for a special story for Valentine's Day, which is of course called The Dead Heart's Curse. Night fell as the full moon shone bright ahead, illuminating the campers below. 5 friends roasting marshmallows as they enjoy one final get-together for the biggest event of the year unfolds. Beth reminded Asha of how upset they all were when she went radio silent all weekend. Colton reminded her that Asha got in over her head and should have listened to them. Wasn't my fault. I thought you guys were pulling a weird prank. No one was going for stick gathering, so I assumed it was the easiest job for the festival. Plus, you know the festival work counts for 10% of our grades. I needed it easy. They gave me a ruler and forced me to hike up the trails. 4 of us, 25 sticks each, and they all had to be exactly 5 centimeters as nature intended. No cutting down the sticks. I was there all day. My back hurt so bad. I went silent all weekend to heal from it all, Asha said. Beth couldn't help but laugh. She had warned Asha there was a reason no one wanted that job. Beth had managed to get onto the flower committee, which, as hard as it looked, was in fact the easiest job of all. All this work was a celebration of the dead tree. Well, not so much a celebration, more an offering. Appease the restless soul as the stories go, and you won't get taken. Every single person in town must contribute something. It's what keeps them safe. Asha and her friends go to the only school in town, and part of their grades include helping with the event. Then there's the play. It has to be put on every year to absolute perfection to keep the soul of the dead heart at rest. We have to enjoy our last night of freedom. The play is days away. We get it right and we're free another year. Unfortunately, I heard from others that Cookie Christie is ranting again. She said the play will fail this year and the old dead heart will rise again, Colton said. That means you got something to worry about, Denise. I told you we all have to play our part. It's in the legend. You don't want help with the festival, then the dead heart takes you. We all do our part in both the festival and the play, whether we believe it or not. I'm not letting stupidity be the death of me. We don't even need to do much. Colton is a tree, for crying out loud, and not even the tree. He's a background tree. And Elliot is a corpse. We don't have to try very hard, Beth replied. The problem in question, this was the year people were starting to question the legend of the dead heart. A man who died young many years ago. The details of what happened change over the years, and no one knows what really happened. All they know is that a celebration must be held to appease the dead tree and hold a play to showcase the legend as well as they know it. Cookie Christie was named for her sixth sense. She comes from a long line of witches, one of few true and known sources of real magic in town. Christie has the power of foresight, like her mother and her grandmother. It's why they hold high positions in town. What they see must come to be true. Denise, however, decided she would rather risk a failed grade than partake in a sham to honour a dead man. The so-called dead heart, as they know him, died at the age of 21, not much older than Beth and her friends. Beth and Asha were working behind the scenes for the play. The five of them stayed behind after school the night before the play for a last-minute rehearsal. Denise paid the dead heart's one true love. As the legend goes, she fought to save the life of the one she loved, but when she failed and the town turned on them both, the dead heart was killed and buried under what was once a majestic oak. His one true love, refusing to live without him, ended her own life at the base of that very tree, and less than hours later, the oak tree's leaves turned crimson and died. The tree could never recover and died with the lovers, then and forevermore. The town believed the dead tree a sign of a curse and dedicated that day every year to honouring the dead heart, hoping that if every member of town participated, then maybe they too won't be cursed. Elliot and Denise were supposed to reenact the final scene to allow Beth to check the lighting was right and for Asha to make sure all the painted scenes weren't out of place. However, as Elliot recited his final lines and Denise prepared her earth-shattering screams of pain, she went silent. Colton was sitting in the rows watching, as his role wasn't needed for rehearsals, until he spotted a shadow beneath Denise. Then instead of a scream, blood came out of her mouth. Colton told Elliot to run towards them now. All Beth could think was that the curse was right. Denise didn't play her part, and now the dead heart was real. Asha took a step forward as both Colton and Beth tried to stop her. That's when the four of them saw it. Beth was controlling the spotlights remotely, and as her hands trembled, she moved the spotlights on to Denise, or where she now lay anyway. A bell then chimed out of nowhere. This wasn't the school's bell, however. They had never heard anything like this. One chime, and the shadowed figure takes a step closer. A second chime, and the shadow's feet become clear in the spotlight, covered in dirt and ash. A third chime, and an ear-splitting shriek as the shadow begins to speak. One chime for the story not told. 2 chimes for the one you stole. 3 chimes for the curse you broke. Now it's my time to get what I'm owed. Damn, Nicole, that was good, and I got goosebumps near the very end. I really enjoy the effort you put into these stories, especially the special edition ones. I believe you told me the story would be a killer, and indeed it was. Stick with Nicole, however, because we've got 2 more facts for this Valentinese episode. In Colombia and Guatemala, Valentine's Day is called a day of love and friendship, and is much less romantic. Friends give anonymous gifts, and Guatemala City residents partake in a parade for senior citizens while wearing bright colours and traditional Maya garb. This seems like a load of fun. We should try this in the UK, although we probably won't. Too drab and grey over here. Historically though, for Chinese New Year, again the horse theme, so it's a horse fact now. Horses were the backbone of ancient society, indispensable for transportation, agriculture, and military prowess. This crucial role elevated them to powerful cultural symbols representing power, nobility, and ambition. Thanks, Nicole. Looking forward to more facts later on. We're at the point now, groaners, where I give one of you the groany honour of having your groan read out during the show. This week's came in from the goddess of love herself, Aphrodite. She was brief, but didn't mince her words. And she says, I'm so sick of people dumping each other on Valentine's Day or beforehand, then getting back together after Valentine's Day just to avoid buying gifts or getting each other a card. It wounds me. Valentine's Day and love is about more than saving a few pounds and goes deeper than a material present. If you think that is what this day and love is about, then maybe you deserve to be alone. Wow! Some of you out there have irked the goddess of love. Even so, it was a good groan. Now, Aphrodite just decided to pop up and give her groan to me, but since you can't really pop up groaners, you can contact the show in a myriad of ways. You can drop us an email to thegroanzonepod@gmail.com. You can join on Discord, which is the Groan Zone Podcast. Again, we're not live, but you can drop all your content suggestions, your Heroes of the Week nominations, your groans, etc., all in on that channel, the Groan Zone on Discord. You can join on Facebook groups, which is the Groan Zone Podcast Facebook group. Speaking of Facebook, you can contact myself, that's Mr. E. Groaner, or admin Nicole, that's Nicole Amos, on Facebook Messenger. And lastly, you can comment on any platform you listen on, be it Podbean, be it Spotify, even YouTube. We're on so many now, we've actually lost count. But if you put a comment down, do make sure you email us and we'll go have a little look at your comment and see if we can either feature it on the show, add it to the show, like a game suggestion, for example, or a Heroes of the Week nomination. But please do keep it clean, groaners. We look forward to hearing from you. The episode will now shift more towards Chinese New Year now, as we play our second game, which is Talking Nonsense. Yes, not even Chinese New Year is safe from my reverse nonsense. But can you spin it to English again, groaners? Good luck to you. Round 1. You might see this mythical creature dance at Chinese New Year celebrations. Your nonsense is a Nicoles or Nicoles. Pause it, groaners. Have a little think. What could it be? Guess, and then unpause for round number 2. These 3 types of food are eaten on Chinese New Year to represent different things. Your nonsense is Ho, which represents progress and strength. Snore, which represent happiness, and Gut, which represents abundance. Pause here, groaners. Have a little think of what those 3 things could be, and then unpause. For round number 3 is upon us now. These may be set off during celebrations for Chinese New Year. Your nonsense is off. Pause here, groaners. Use that grey matter, answer, and then unpause. Think you worked them out, groaners? You will find out soon enough. Now, round 3 ended the last game, but we have a 3rd round of Valentinese facts from admin Nicole yet again. February the 14th is National Chocolate Day in Ghana, an initiative introduced by the government in 2007 to shed light on the fact that Ghana is one of the world's largest cocoa producers. Ghana hosts concerts and performances, and restaurants offer special chocolate-themed menus for the special day. Okay, now that's it. Forget Valentine's Day, give us Chocolate Day in the UK, and take my money. Now, for the Chinese New Year fact. Along with the slender figure of the foreign breeds, the colour of a horse, was a very important feature, and the emperor's favourite animals were dressed by their colour, a symbol of power, rank and wealth. During the Tang dynasty's rule, the horse became one of the most loved subjects for art and funerary figures, which were crafted with highly naturalistic detail and decorated with multicoloured glazes. Also, the composition of the salads and the bridles grew more and more complex, and Tang horses are to this day one of the most recognisable subjects of ancient Chinese art. Who knew? So you learn things in this podcast, you know. You learn things here. More facts coming later, Groaners. We now must name and praise our hero of the week, as well as name and shame our zero of the week. Hero. The heroes go out to the loved ones who make the other half feel special every time Valentine's Day rolls around, and not just Valentine's Day. If you do this, you're a good egg. A hero shout out also goes out to the highly skilled dancers who give it their all for entertaining crowds during traditional Chinese dragon or Chinese lion dances at Chinese New Year celebrations. It's not easy. One of my friends does it, and it takes a lot of training, a lot of skill, and you need coordination. And now the zeros. If you rushed out and bought a mug or a keyring or similar for your partner on Valentine's Day, you could argue that it's a thought that counts, but at the same time, a case can be made to describe what a complete dumpling full of crap you really are. Have a word with yourself, and whilst doing that, drink in your zero of the week dishonour. Get something better for your other half for Valentine's Day. If you're going to get her a keyring, be prepared to be ditched. I'm going to give you a game answer early now, Groaners, before the other game answers. For episode 172's Who the Hell Is This? The answer was Sammy Davis Jr. If you know your actors and singers from bygone eras, then well done you if you got this. Now, Groaners, it's been a minute, but the section known as What The is back. Starting strong with Chinese New Year traditions in its sights. But these are a little bit strange to me. No washing, no cleaning. Showering, washing hair, or sweeping is forbidden on the first day of Chinese New Year to avoid washing away luck or sweeping family members away. Forbidden words, forbidden actions. Using scissors, needles, or knives is avoided as they can cut good luck. Discussing death or ghosts is also strictly forbidden. Strange foods and rules. Eating porridge is avoided as that is associated with poverty. And one should not take an afternoon nap to avoid laziness for the coming year. Hired partners. Single people sometimes hire partners to take home to escape the family pressuring them regarding marriage. Symbolic decor. Wearing red is crucial to ward off the Nian beast, while black or white clothing is avoided as it symbolises mourning. The water god birthday. The first 2 days are considered the birthday of the water god, which is why washing your hair or washing your clothing is forbidden. No morning urging. Urging someone out of bed on the first morning is avoided, as it predicts a year of being rushed. These seem very unusual, and with fair play in mind, I'm leaving them in the what the section. Maybe I misunderstood them, but they are definitely what the's to me, although the last one, I could quite happily stay in bed for a long time, so I wouldn't get any morning urging. Another game now, unites Valentine's Day and Chinese New Year, and that game is 50-50. You've half a chance each round, Groaners, to get it right. Here we go. Round number 1. The very first commercial Valentine's Day cards were produced in either A, the 1750s, or B, the 1840s. Pause here, Groaners. Throw your guess into the ring and then unpause. Round number 2. The UK city which holds the biggest Chinese New Year celebration is either A, London, or B, Manchester. Pause here, Groaners. pick your 50-50, and then unpause. Moving us along, round number 3. From the website Toy Nick Toys, what was at number 1 for the worst thing to receive on Valentine's Day? Was it A, nothing, or B, a breakup letter? Pause your groaners, pick your 50-50. When you're happy with your 50-50, unpause. Good luck, groaners. The answers will come sooner than you think. Admin Nicole wraps things up now with her last bout of facts for Valentinese Day. Twice a year, Taiwan goes crazy for flowers. On February the 14th, and then again on July 7th, men give elaborate bouquets to their loved ones with the colour and number of flowers representing an important message. The most important message? The bouquet of 108 roses, which is code for, will you marry me? So ladies, gents, if someone gives you 108 roses, now you know what it means. And for the Chinese New Year fact, the most prominent contemporary Chinese equestrian is Alex Huatian. He made history as the first Chinese event rider to be registered with the International Federation for Equestrian Sports, and in 2008 became the youngest Olympic event rider in history, competing at the Beijing Olympics. Sticking with Edmund Nicole, we get her to push our brains over the edge now with her anagram anxiety. Your anagram: erroneously heavy outerwear. That's ERRONEOUSLY HEAVY OUTERWEAR. Your clue: a well-known Valentine's phrase that originated from the Middle Ages. Good grief! I'm out of this one, groaners. Best wishes, because I'm baffled. The answer will come next week. I can't wait to be put out of my misery. I haven't got a clue. But speaking of answers, groaners, here they come. For the first game, please don't stop the music. Round 1. Your answer was Shania Twain, You're Still the One. That is a pop classic and a very romantic one at that. Round 2, of course, the legend himself, Elvis Presley, Love Me Tender. And the last one, if you've seen the film Ghost, you've probably heard this music. But then again, if you lived in the era or watched Top of the Pops 2 or whatever, you've probably heard this song as well, and it was redone again by Robson and Jerome. It is the Righteous Brothers, but with Unchained Melody. Well done for getting these classics, groaners, if you got them. Talking nonsense. Round 1. Your nonsense was either a Chinese dragon or a Chinese lion. If you got either of them, you got a point. But if you got both of them, that's 2 points to you for that round. Round 2. Your nonsense was, and here where you might get a treble 3-pointer. Pork, which represents progress and strength. Prawns, which represent happiness. And duck, which represents abundance. If you got round 1 and 2 and got double and treble points, you're doing really well. And the last round, round 3, your nonsense was firecrackers. Double trouble there in a second reverse game. If you get any points, well played. And finally, 50-50. Round 1. The very first commercial Valentine's Day cards were produced in B, the 1840s. Round 2. The UK city which holds the biggest Chinese New Year celebration is, of course, no surprises here, is A, London. Last round, round 3, from the website Toy Nick Toys, what was at number 1 for the worst thing to receive on Valentine's Day? It is, of course, A, nothing. Although I must say, a breakup letter equally sucks. So either of those is bad in my opinion. Well done to all of you who got points, and to everyone else, hopefully you enjoyed the games. This takes us to the end of another special, Groaners. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week. Take care. Bye-bye. Men give elaborate bookkeep. Men give as well as name our shit. The hero. The heroes go out to the loved ones who make their loved ones spiel. Plus, you know the fire that Cookie Christie is right. All bet could think.